Hi, so today I am going to do a experimental painting. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So today I'm going to do an experimental painting. Experimental as in, I usually, I, I have a method that I've been using specifically when I was doing digital painting. Um, that worked for me. But then I was one of the things that I was trying to do, wanting to learn to do, was to go straight to color. So what I tended to do was I went in with some brown, some kind of like a like I just went in with brown, and I did almost like a a um, a tonal study. And then after I kind of got the tones around the way I wanted, then I would introduce color into it. One of the things that I was never very good at was going straight to color from the start. Um, I, 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 uh, I just didn't know how to approach it. So since then, I've been kind of drilling myself, kind of learning, seeing things, how other people do it, and things like that. So I've done a few experiments off camera. I've in my Patreon videos, you could see some of them. I've gone and done experiments with oil simulation pens and things like that, like on Clip Studio. So today I'm going to just draw a lady. I am going to paint her, and I'm going to do it on camera so you could see what I do, how I approach it, and all of that. So I'm going to not always talk over what I'm doing. Hopefully, if I have any thoughts as I go, I will talk to you directly via the camera, or just a voiceover. But this will be sped up. So that's what I'm gonna do. And see how it turns out. I don't know if it's gonna be a good painting or not. This is something that I'm generally new at doing. It's going to be stylized. So without any further ado, here I go. So I'm doing this all in one layer. Um, I don't know how well that's going to work out for me, but we'll see. Okay, so one of the reasons why I started doing the background first is because uh, the idea is that the environment affects the color of the light hitting the figure, right? So blue, the color of the sky is is going to affect some of the color of the shadows, the color of the light, which is in this case is going to be from the sun, which is more yellow, is going to affect the color that is hitting the local color of the skin and things like that. But the color of the environment, the what's the ambient light comes from the sky. The sky is blue, or in this case, kind of greenish blue. And so what happens is that color um, uh, lights up the shadows, right? So it bounces, and so whatever is in is the ambient light. Anything that lights the shadow areas is going to have some of that blue. It will also have some of the color of the floor, which is getting hit by the sunlight, boom, and then the light is reflected back into the shadows. So if you know the colors surrounding the figure, then you'll know what to color the shadows and and some of the light and things like that. Like, right, so that's the idea. That's the logic behind starting with a background first. Again, um, I don't usually do this. This is something that I am trying out because it's just good advice. So now I'm going to do the the line layer of my drawing, and perhaps I should have probably started with the line layer and then done the background and then done uh, the figure. But we'll see. So now I'm going to start with the actual drawing itself. Okay, so I finished the line work, and you saw that a lot of what I was doing was taking quite a. It was a little bit of a struggle. It's a rough drawing. Um, part of the thing that's going to slow me down is that I even though I kind of have a style, in other words, a way that I tend to draw. I also don't have a style. There are it has my handwriting, but I don't always do. I'm not always happy with some of my design choices, right? Um, for example, a while back I was drawing cartoony girls with a little bit more of an Archie type of nose, and sometimes I go and do it a little bit more like anime, um, and things like that. And so I tend not to have a specific formula that I always do with a finish, and that slows me down. So I'm going to do probably a little bit more touching up here, because I think that, for example, the the eyes, one is bigger than the other and stuff like that. So I'm going to make some adjustments like that. But that's part of the part of the problem that I'm having is I don't have a go-to final look for the girls that I tend to do. There is a little bit. I tend to draw the kind of the same eyes over and over, and I've noticed that. Well, I'm trying to change that up a little bit, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But anyway, I'm going to continue. I'm going to shrink some stuff, and then I'll get into the coloring part. Now, now that I'm going to add some value, or I'm going to start with the actual putting in the painting part after I've done the drawing, I've got to decide what that main hue is going to be. And so I've got to pick some. I'm thinking that I want to pick something a little bit in the middle of the value scale that I want, so that I can go in and lighten and go in and darken. So I need to pick from the color picker something that's kind of just a right in between color. Okay, so that's my base. Hopefully that's like right in between, somewhere in the middle. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's a little bit too gray. Uh, I'm going to make some adjustments right now on this layer and see if I can make it a little bit brighter, just a little bit brighter. Saturate it a little bit, make it a little bit more orangey. Okay, so it's just a little bit more pink. I'll just merge that. Okay. And now I am going to use the airbrush, and I'm going to lightly put some gradient, some light coming in the direction that I think so that there's I could have a better idea or a feel of the light here. So one of the things that I was going to do here was I was going to um, use lines. It's not going to be a complete um, paint. It's not going to be just a painting without any lines. I'm going to put some line work in there just to speed up the process uh, and just so that it's so I could finish this faster. Put a little bit of line work in here, and I put the general light shapes, but there is no finesse here. There is no final. So there's no final element. I think I've got kind of like the gist of what I want. So now what I need to do is finalize everything. So I'm going to try to come in and be a little bit more careful and just kind of model all the areas that need modeling. Right now, the only thing that doesn't have any light shapes is the hair, so maybe I'll just put really quickly some indications of that. But otherwise, now I'm going to come in and really try to add some final line work to this. Okay, so at this point in so one of the things that I did was I decided to crop the picture a little bit because I didn't really want to keep fiddling with the bottom bit. I thought that I was kind of done with. There was just. I think I picked too big of a figure or too much of from the chest up, and it was almost down to the waist, and I've almost regretted doing that because it was too much for like just a test or a demo. I think it would have been something that I would have preferred to do maybe later or as an experiment another time, but not in this particular case. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find little bits where I can just pop a light in just to emphasize something. But it looks like I'm generally done. And I'm going to try to find a way to kind of do a little bit of a color dodge in here to see what looks good, what works. Um, I like the kind of the glow effect sometimes that these things tend to have, pieces like this tend to have. And so I'm going to try to find a place to put the color dodge in. But if I can't, I can't. But like I said, right now I'm just looking for places to just kind of pop a light or a highlight or something, and then it should be done. I'm sorry, I'm looking down at the piece while I'm talking. So let me try to get this. Okay, so I was trying a few levels and trying to change some things to see if I could get a better result. And I kind of can't. I think I like what's here. The only thing is that what's bothering me, what I'm looking at is that some of the background here in the back is kind of blending a little bit too much with the figure. So I'm trying to pull the figure out a little bit more. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to add a little bit of a glow behind her just to kind of make her pop a little bit more towards the center. Let me see if that will work. Okay, so that's it. That's it for me. I did this thing. I made the background pop a little bit more. Everything was basically painted on one layer. And I put a few lines here and there to just kind of shortcut some of the painting, I guess. But I also like that kind of a look where there's a little bit of line work and but it's mostly painted. So that's it. Hopefully this has been interesting and you've seen me do an experiment. At first I didn't know if it was even going to look okay. It was a bit of a crazy, it felt really bizarre going about doing it the way I was. But I'm glad that that it wasn't a complete disaster. Um, there's a few things that I kind of want to touch still, but I think it's generally done. I may go back into this and just kind of add little bits and pieces throughout the week, but otherwise it's basically there. Before I forget and before I sign out, I wanted to say that I recently launched the first Drawfu course. So if you're interested in learning from me without having to go through Patreon and getting coaching, this is the very first course that it's just completely automated. You could just watch the videos. It takes you through all of level 0 lessons from the website. Only now you get to hear me say things. I add to the information from the website and I do the exercises via the video so that you can see me do it in real time so that you could understand how it's done and what I do when I approach these things. So if you want to learn from me, there is a link in my website. The website is thedrawingwebsite.com. And I'll put a link to the course in the description of this video. But if you go to thedrawingwebsite.com and you click on the Drawfu course tab on the top of the website, you'll be taken to the course, and there you could sign up and it'll give you the introduction if you want to get into drawing from knowing absolutely nothing at all about drawing, like zero, like you can't even draw a stick figure. Well, this is the course for you. Um, Depending on the success of the course, I am going to continue to level 2, and then I am going to do the thing that everybody's been asking me for, which is do I'm going to continue level 1, and then the thing that everybody's asking me for is level 2. And level 2 would have been much more difficult to all write down the way that I did on the website. So ideally what I want to do with level 2 is do the entire thing via video and then put it on the website. But the video will come first this time so that I could kind of break down the information in a little bit easier way for me, because it's easier to talk than just plan out everything I'm going to say. So that would be the best thing. So supporting the course will incentivize me going and doing level 1, and then level 2, and then level 3. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.